What's up, guys? Welcome to TFGoose Gaming. I'm TFGoose here with Vendetta, and we are bringing you some more SimCity. It's been a minute.
Hooray!
Yay! I know the bulk of you subscribers out there are with us for SimCity content, and sure wanted to bring you some more of this stuff, and we got good reason for it today, right, man? I mean, you got some good stuff.
Yeah, we're covering the latest update here, the update 6 that just hit, I think about a week ago.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah, it's in, and among those is this is the new region here that we're playing around in, right?
Yeah, the new Granite
It's
Lake
Granite
region.
Lake, yeah. It's a 10 city region, I think it is.
Yeah, two sets, 2 clusters of 5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they unfortunately never let you have 10 all affecting each other, but that's okay.
Yeah, that would be awesome, but this is okay.
Yeah, so yeah, basically this is Vendetta's run through here, guys. He started up a city and just wanted to kind of showcase, you know, the new area here a little bit, and we just want to kind of talk about some of the stuff in the update, and really just to kind of showcase the fact that the game is overall running better, you know?
Yeah.
It's doing better. This is really, really starting to become, you know, the game that we all wanted at launch, and that, you know, quite frankly, was a little short, you know, in some areas. You know, I think that's very fair to say. I think even EA and Maxis would agree on that.
Yeah.
You know, but still, you know, it's a really solid foundation, and they've been building on it and building on it and building on it and listening to a lot of feedback. And this update has some cool stuff in there, actually addressing some of the pain points that we've even noted in the course of our Let's Plays and other videos on this title. So
Leaderboards.
Dive right in, yeah, and there's one of them.
Yeah, so I think they fixed this a while back, but honestly, it's been so buggy for so long, we hadn't really paid much attention to it, but it looks like that leaderboards are really finally functioning as intended, and I thought this was pretty neat. You can see me here, I'm kind of going through a couple of the various statistics and kind of comparing, looking at the global leaderboards, because frankly, I hadn't really looked at them before, and I was like, you know, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so they finally got those working, and that's kind of a big plus.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always, you know, this isn't what you would call a competitive game, you know, generally speaking.
Right.
You know, if you had to compare it to any other, you know, a lot of other titles out there, you know, there are many other examples of ones that would bear that name much better, you know, or bear that description as far as being competitive. But, you know, it is kind of nice to just kind of see where you stack up, you know, to see, you know, if you have a lot of room for improvement, you know, on how you're handling your city. And there isn't going to be a lot of people out there, I think, that are just excellent at everything, you know?
Right.
But if you think that you're a really good profit maker or something like that, and you want to see how you stack up against others, or you really going for maximum population, or, you know, your biggest RCI or anything like that, then you can focus in on something and kind of compare and contrast a little bit better now. So that's always good. But yeah, now you got a nice kind of a bird's eye view of the
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to showcase the new region here and kind of take a look at some of the maps. And so as they said, it was like a mountainous terrain, but you know, not to give them too much flack, but some of these maps, in addition to the map size already being small, I mean, look how much they're kind of taking away. Like, I like the mountains, guys, don't get me wrong, but, you know, could you please just give me some bigger maps, maybe?
just a little bit. Yeah, no, I know what you mean, because it's kind of the problem is everybody wants like some varied terrain. People are going to say that, you know, that to make things interesting.
Right.
But when you start putting too many features, you know, in that small space, you really cut back on the amount of usable terrain at all, you know, for you to actually get a functional city going. So if you want to build a city that has some character, that's kind of smaller and everything, and really make use of that challenging area, then that's fine. You know, and there are some reasonable plots here, you know,
Absolutely.
in this city, obviously. But there are several of them in this region that really aren't conducive to being like major metropolitan centers, unless you want to spend a lot of time, you know, trying to really get some intricate road design going, and trying to play some games with, you know, placing and demolishing roads to get them to kind of carve into terrain the way that you want. And almost terraform a little bit. And there are methods for doing that to a certain degree, but most of the time, if I ever find an area that really, needs that, I don't really want to do it. It's like,
I'm the same way. I want a big flat space because I want to try to build up my city as much as possible. I think some of the cliffs and stuff, while they do look really cool, it takes away from my playability, and it's like, it looks nice, but I'm more of a function over, form kind of guy.
aesthetics.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's fine, and as you know, and as anybody who's been watching us for a while knows, so we both kind of play in that same way. But, you know, I still like it. I still like the region just fine. I think it's nice. It's just there are definitely a few plots here that I'm probably not going to play very much with, unless I really, really want to make a high character town, like a really specialized low population area type thing. And I'm sure there's going to be somebody that comes along and be like, oh my God, no, I have a 1 million population city on, this, plateau or something. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying that generally speaking, it's a lot easier. And for me, I feel like I can be more creative when I'm given more space to do with what I want rather than having to dodge land obstacles. But that's me.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
anyways, but enough about the actual layout. As far as just some of the general tuning and stuff that they've done. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the patch notes here. We'll put a link to the patch notes actually in the description here so you can kind of see what's going on. But a couple of things that I noticed, right away that I thought was kind of interesting. Number one is that RCI tuning that they made where, industrial is kind of a bigger factor and it will actually impact the amount of money that commercial buildings can make. I thought that was interesting that they kind of went that way because before it was just like needs more freight, or not enough places to ship freight. And now it'll actually impact the commercial business, more directly. And I think that's a good change. I mean, to make it a little bit more of a balanced, challenge, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was apprehensive at first about it because I kind of felt like commercial was being nerfed. But having played afterwards, I actually really like the RCI tuning. I feel like industry just isn't there anymore. It actually has a purpose, and I feel like it functions better with commercial. So, I don't think you need as much industry as you used to, but now that being said, the industry that you have is going to perform better. So,
Yeah, and that's all the better because, dedicating large swaths of your limited space to industry kind of stinks for a number of reasons. Number one, they're kind of ugly a lot of the time. So those of you who do care a lot about aesthetics probably don't want a lot of industry in your town. Two, pollution obviously is an issue and that impacts health and a whole bunch of other things. So if you can reduce, the number of industrial buildings and make them more efficient, and anytime you can do that in a city, it's generally a good idea, but if you go too light on it, then now it's going to really, really be visible in your commercial buildings.
Yeah, I think they'll actually fail now.
Yeah, they'll actually just close up, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, so still, some tuning there, and it's interesting. And like you said, man, I was a little bit sketchy on it at first, but, after thinking about it, and certainly after, you got your PlayStation here and we talked about it, it seems like it definitely is a better solution. So we'll find out more long term, but, tell us what you guys think.
Absolutely.
But a couple of the other things, I mean, they did do some, aesthetic changes and stuff like, changing the, the height variations on some of the RCI buildings on the density 3 level. I see that, in the patches. And also I'm a big fan just straight up of the borderless window thing. I know that doesn't mean anything to a lot of people, but my system, has beef with recording in full screen, on a lot of games. It does. I don't know why, but
I don't know why either. It's that AMD video card you have.
It has to be. I don't know what it is, but something's really strange about it. It throws a fit. So the fact that you can get a borderless window on there, for me is epic because it means I can actually play my game 100% full screen, and still record it. But since the game, is playing technically in a window, then, that recording software works really well for me. So that was huge for me. Probably not as big for a lot of other people. But I'll tell you what, if you have frame rate issues in any of your games, a lot of the time, if you flip on a borderless window or play in windowed mode in general, you recapture a lot of frame rate doing that.
Yeah. You know,
which I don't know why, but it works.
yeah, something kind of funny on that too is I didn't notice this, but I was actually checking my options before I started this record, and I had noticed that the frame rate cap was actually on. And to give you guys some info on my graphics card, I'm actually running a GTX 670, which is pretty beefy for this game. And I'm like, I'm capped at 30 frames. And then I took that off and I was like, wow, it's so much smoother.
Yeah, amazing what happens when you don't lock yourself to 30 frames, right?
I was like, I can't believe I did that. I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely something to consider, guys. If you guys running the a little bit beefier systems, or a lot beefier systems like Vendettas, consider that, because the game really is, I mean, really is cool looking. I mean, it really is. When it's running well and just super smooth, you know, it is neat just to watch it run. You know, it can be really cool. I know some people that, you know, play it and just zoom in and watch the city run sometimes, you know, kind of zone out from the mindless grind of trying to make everything work efficiently and take a little bit of time to enjoy the aesthetics. I don't do that nearly enough myself, so.
Yeah, I kind of always play at the macro level like you guys have seen really in all my videos. I don't zoom in, like, ever.
Yeah. About the only time I think I ever do is if I'm trying to delete a bus stop. You know?
Amen to that.
Yeah, you're like, man, that thing is tiny. I need to get in there and find it and hit it with a hammer.
So here we're showing the upgraded land map, or land value map, and you can see these kind of little blue swaths and the red swaths on the map. Those are your areas of influence. I think they have done a superb job of now clearly identifying, you know, kind of the industry is the red and the trade stuff is the red, and your parks, it kind of shows you exactly how much area it affects, and that's awesome. I mean, take a look here at the left-hand corner. You can see all these medium wealth houses are popping up because I just placed that park.
Yeah, and that is really, really cool. Adding that little bit more, you know, information to the data layer. You know, something that actually took me, and I think you as well, man, a little bit longer to really start making use of is those data layers, and they're so nice to have. You know, a lot of them are really important too to check. You know, but a lot of times, I mean, I'll pretty much open up any map and I'd look at the wind map to figure out where I want to put my industry. And of course, any, you know, resource maps if you're going to go drilling or something.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't hardly touch it. I can't tell you the last time I looked at a land value map, you know.
Yeah, me too. Like,
which
never.
is really bad. I mean, you know, and there's definitely a purpose for it. It's just not something that came to mind. If I saw people complaining about their land value, I would just throw a couple parks over there and or take out, you know, some industry nearby or whatever, or just do some of the things that I know are supposed to impact land value. But I wasn't really opening up the map to take a look. And now there's just so much better of a visual interface to get that really, really quick at a glance view, you know, of an area that needs some assistance in that, or if you just want to pop up some more houses and, you know, get some higher land value, then you can build in an area that has good value, you know, very easily now. So
yeah, I think
kind of a nice trick.
Yeah, it's fantastic looking. I mean, I think it really helps, you know, kind of for bridge the gap, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. So real quick though, I guess we were kind of running out of time, but I did want to bring up too, and you guys again can check the full patch notes here for even a couple other things that we missed, but the big ones that we wanted to cover, we covered here. But I think the stuff on giving you more information about no shoppers and no jobs, the alerts popping up correctly, and you know, now and trying to give you some more information about why you might be seeing, you know, businesses closing or people moving out of houses or things. You know, we used to talk about that all the time, even on some of the earlier Let's Plays, where we just didn't understand, like, why don't we have shoppers? Why don't we have workers? What is going on?
Yeah.
Some of that is being addressed here now. I haven't played enough yet to really, you know, determine if it's 100% fixed, but I gotta say, it's excellent to know that they're finally, you know, really focusing in on that and trying to give us some more answers and more information about why our Sims are complaining about some of these problems that we previously didn't know how to solve.
Yeah.
You know,
and that being, that being said, you know, update 7, they plan on addressing traffic again, excuse me, again, and really trying to improve that. I think they're putting some more math behind it, and I think they're going to address also the garbage truck issue. They had previously addressed that before, but it didn't really fix the problem. You still see them kind of playing Snake or Tag Along. with each other.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and they did something in this, I think, about, making sure that a truck didn't stop. They said to not stop at an area that already has an empty bin, which is why I imagine you get that snake effect. But yeah, like you said, obviously there's still a little bit more work to be done there, so hopefully they'll fix that as well. But yeah, dude, overall though, pretty impressive. Pretty good update. And it actually makes it enjoyable to go through and do some of the stuff that we'd already done and have some fun with the game again some more. So we'll keep an eye on it, of course, guys. Let us know if there's you guys have any questions on it or anything, or if there's something else specific you'd like us to cover on SimCity, then we'll definitely be looking out for those requests. So in the meantime, check us out on Twitter. I remember to say it.
Yay!
And check out a couple other videos there that you might have missed. And we'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching.